Okay guys, so today we have something a little bit special. First time ever I'm having a guest host on Fantasy Premier League preview for Gameweek 16. We have with me FPL Updates. And first of all, before we get into our picks and our look at this up and coming game week, we're going to introduce you all to something I've been involved with on Twitter. But first of all, why don't you say hi to everyone? FPL Updates.
Hi guys, pleasure to be here, and hopefully we'll be seeing lots of green arrows come Monday night.
And hopefully we'll be seeing lots of money coming to me.
not sure about that one.
When we look at Challenge the Pundits. It's something I got involved with last week, and we're going to highlight it for you all so you can challenge us if you feel like putting some money on the line. On the screen right now you will see the Challenge the Pundits challenge on Premier Punt, and you can see the likes of FPL Updates, FPL Avids, myself, FPL Tips, all there. My lineup is in front of you, and you can always check the article that they do on their website as well, fplupdates.com. And who are you going with for your team, FPL Updates?
Okay, so I've literally got not a penny left in terms of the 100 million budget, or however much it is you start with, but I've got Hugo Lloris in goal. It's a 3-4-3 formation. Hector Bellerin, Martin Skrtel and Munai Issa from Stoke. Midfield, I've got vice-captain Barkley, I've got Mahrez, Mata and Dele Alli. And up front, I've got Benteke, Connor Wickham and captain Harold Kane.
I think you've definitely got some people there that if they score some big points, you could be taking that money. Some people I don't think everyone's going to go for, so I think that's definitely got a chance. As you can see, my team is there already, so I won't necessarily go over it. You can look at it while we're talking. But now I want to focus for this part of the episode on the potential differentials in Game Week 16 and the point scorers. But if you want to see more things like captain picks and who we think may be getting some clean sheets, make sure to check out FPL Updates video. I'll leave a link in the description and there'll be an annotation right now. And so FPL Updates, who are you looking to score big points for you this weekend?
Well, in terms of our team, we saw last week the impact of Shaqiri against Manchester City, and it was only a matter of time before he had a big performance. You know, he's done it with Bayern Munich, he's done it with Inter Milan, he's been on the big stage, he's been there, done that, and, you know, coming to England, we really thought he's going to be a special player, not only on the Premier League, but on this game. And going to a depleted West Ham squad, it has to be said, surely Shaqiri's going to dance his way around a team where there's going to be no Winston Reid and pretty much no attacking players on him. So I'm looking for Shaqiri to go big, whether he scores or assists. Another player I'm looking at to go big is roster for Barkley. Of course, I mentioned him in the Premier Punt lineup. He's got 6 goals and 5 assists this season. It really is a breakthrough season, I think, for him. You know, cementing his place in that England squad next summer. And I think he's been a revelation this season. And again, he scores a lot of goals, obviously, from midfield. That's even better for us. And finally, I think, perhaps controversially, I'm going to say Martin Skrtel. I know I say controversial because he scored no goal last week, but Skrtel, I think he's one of Liverpool's top scoring defenders ever. You know, that season when they nearly won the league, I think he scored 7 goals. I think from a set piece, he's a real threat, and I don't see West Brom scoring at Anfield. So hopefully Skrtel's going to bag a header and keep a clean sheet. One can dream.
Well, speaking of defenders, that is why one of my potential big scorers is Toby Alderweireld, and I usually mess that name up, so I apologise if I have. But coming up against Newcastle, he has actually had so many chances this season. He's maybe not scored as many as he could have, but I think he keeps getting in that box every time they get a set piece, every time the ball is whipped in. So I'm hoping for some cheeky points from Toby Alderweireld, and he's also had a few assists as well. Also looking at Butland in that West Ham game, depleted West Ham side, I just think Butland's been on form. Stokes' defence has looked better and better as the season has gone on, and I am slightly worried that their great performance against Man City was maybe an inconsistent showing for them, whereas they may do it sometimes, turn it on, and then other times they may not. So I've stayed away from attacking Stoke players for the moment. And then, yeah, Harry Kane and De Bruyne both coming up against defences that are pretty weak. at the moment, so I'm hoping for big points from them. But let's not focus on just players in our team. We'll move on to some differentials that I don't necessarily have, but I think could score big this weekend. And while I give FPL Updates some time to think about his choices, mine are Kasper Schmeichel coming up against Chelsea. Chelsea have looked pretty toothless in the league so far, and Leicester's defence has improved recently. If Leicester go all out gung-ho attack and just pin Chelsea down, Schmeichel could potentially pick up some points, and he's not a player that many people have. I'm looking at Liverpool's defence and I'm looking at Moreno. I think he's just got that attacking threat, which means he could get the clean sheet and some attacking points. Then have Kone for Everton. I know a lot of people have Lukaku, a lot of people have Barkley, and it's hurt me that I've stayed away from Barkley because I was trying to pick someone different to catch up with people because of my positioning in the league. But I think Kone could come in and do another big game week like he did against Sunderland. And then, maybe a little bit controversial, but I'm looking at Connor Wickham for Crystal Palace against Southampton. Southampton have conceded a lot recently, and Connor Wickham's underlying stats, as I've highlighted in this show before, were very good. He just needs to get on the end of a few chances. Anyway, so FPL Updates. Who do you think could score big that might necessarily not be owned by that many people?
Well, first of all, I think the boy Nyom, if I've said it right, the Watford defender, who they've brought in this summer, I think he's been fantastic at right back. He's been bombing forward, getting back, defending. And against Sunderland, I think, it's going to be a bit of a breeze for him, really, with the way they've been playing this season. So I think Nyom at Watford, a lot of bonus points, hopefully a clean sheet there. Also, I'm looking at Glenn Murray, and I just think that win, Bournemouth have been so unlucky, as we've both mentioned, but I think that win against Chelsea has instilled some real confidence in them, and Glenn Murray got that goal. I think at home to Manchester United, pretty much a second choice defence they may have to field. It's pretty much how good's De Gea going to be. I think Glenn Murray will be a fantastic differential, and I could maybe see him scoring 2 and getting those bonus points as well. And finally, Dele Alli in that Spurs midfield. He's been praised a lot, but not many people pick him on this game, funnily enough. They just see him as maybe perhaps of a player that doesn't do it week in, week out. But we saw what he did in an England shirt against France, and I think at home to Newcastle, Ali's going to pick those pockets of space against a poor defence and run riot at White Hart Lane.
I can actually definitely see that happening. He's recently been put as in the kind of number 10 role behind the striker in a couple of games as well. So he's definitely been pushed further up the field because of his exploits recently. So I think that's a great shout. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this part of the episode. Thank you so much, FPL Updates, for being on the show and the first guest ever on J&O United's Fantasy Premier League preview. So thanks for coming along.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us, and subscribe to J&O because he's brilliant.
Also subscribe to FPL Updates. Of course, link will be in the description below. Check them out every week. They're bringing you reviews and previews, and also check out their website as well, which will also be in the link in the description. And that is it for this part. Thank you guys for tuning in. Okay, so the team I'm going with is here. And you can see I'm going to stick with Butland because it seems like Butland and Stoke could potentially be fixture proof. Their defence is one of the best defences at the moment, and they even performed against Man City. We then have Alderweireld, Cedric and Nyom as the back three. The fixture list pretty much picks those back three. Then we have Deulofeu, Mahrez, De Bruyne and Ozil. Coutinho is there still. I haven't decided who to transfer him out for. If he's potentially going to play, I'm going to keep him in. And then we have Lukaku, Kane and Vardy up front. Kane has started to drop off a bit with the goals, but Vardy and Lukaku have both still been in the points. Even though Vardy didn't score last game week, he still got me an assist, so they're staying in, and I'm hoping Kane will bang in a few against Newcastle. In the Certified Super League, I'm coming up against that team. Not going to try and say the name, but he is rocking up with Begovic, Dawson, Moreno, Galloway, Hoof, Hutton, Mahrez, Ozil, De Bruyne, Tadic, Barry, Vardy, Kane, Lukaku and McCarthy. Now the front three look good. His bench is a bit weak, but we'll see. Hopefully I'm not running my mouth too soon and about to lose another fixture in the Certified Super League. The fixture list looks as follows for this game week, and I'm looking at Everton to get some points against Norwich. I fancy Man City at home to get a lot of goals against the Swansea back line that are starting to look a bit suspect. Watford hopefully will go and get a clean sheet against Sunderland, although Sunderland's performances have picked up now Sam Allardyce has had some time to work his magic. I'm hoping Stoke will get a clean sheet against West Ham. West Ham have lost a lot of their attacking players, so I'm not sure they're going to be the attacking threat that they have previously been. Man United Bournemouth, a very weak attack against a team that are getting lots of attacking chances but not scoring many. I'm thinking it could be quite a boring fixture, but I think Man United will still pick up the win. Hoping Arsenal get some points against Aston Villa. Thinking about doubling up with another Arsenal midfielder, but still haven't made that decision. Liverpool versus West Brom, hoping Coutinho is back and ready to score a lot of goals, but West Brom haven't been that bad defensively on their travels. Spurs Newcastle, I'm doing what I always do against Newcastle now, hoping for them to get annihilated and me to pick the right players that are playing against them. And then Leicester Chelsea, Chelsea's defensive looks suspect, Leicester's attack hasn't, so I'm hoping Mahrez and Vardy get me some points. So looking on at the teams with the best up and coming fixtures, we start off with Man United. They have Bournemouth away, followed by Norwich, Stoke, Chelsea, Swansea and Newcastle. If this was the Man United of old, we'd all be scrambling to get Man United players in. But the only thing I'm scrambling for is a Man United defender or goalkeeper, because attacking wise you don't know where the points are going to come from and if they're going to get any points. Then we have Crystal Palace. They are coming up against Southampton, Stoke, Bournemouth, Swansea, Chelsea and Aston Villa. Now again, Crystal Palace have a very unpredictable attack. So again, if I was going to go on these fixtures, I'd probably be looking at defence. Scott Dan definitely seems like a goal threat and a decent chance at getting some clean sheet points. And then we have West Bromwich Albion, my team from the mid-table clash. They have Liverpool, but after they get past Liverpool, they have Bournemouth, Swansea, Newcastle, Stoke, and then Chelsea. And what you'll notice is Chelsea are no longer considered a difficult fixture. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of FPL preview for Game Week 16. Sorry about the mismatch of clothes and the mismatch of 2 different days with the editing and the work with FPL Updates. Unfortunately in my head it worked so much better, but then plans changed of course, so that is why you've got 2 kind of separate videos in one. Hopefully collabing with FPL players that do YouTube is something I can bring to the channel more often, so definitely make sure to check out anyone I bring on this show because they've got JNO's stamp of approval. I've been JNO, you've been awesome, and remember, it's all about the game.